Week 3 of the Cincinnati Bengals OTA practices are officially underway. And with that being said, we have more news, notes, highlights, observations from another day here at practice. And that also means that we are 1 week away from mandatory minicamp, which is going to mean more highlights, more to look at in terms of 7-on-7 highlights. Right now, they're not allowed to show that, but next week they will be able to. So we're going to be talking about that next week. But before we dive into this video and talk about, some takeaways and observations from OTA so far, I need you guys to do me a quick little favor and go follow the Bengals media team, man. Big shout out to them, because if it wasn't for them, these videos wouldn't even be possible. They work so hard, get these highlights out for us, and, enable us to make these videos. So make sure you guys go follow them. They will keep you guys updated with everything that's going on in practice. You'll see the ads at the top left of your screen throughout the entirety of the video. Go check them out, please. And with that being said, let's kind of jump into the video. Now, one of the biggest takeaway or the biggest notes from today's practice was Joe Burrow was not there, which isn't a big deal. Obviously, you want your day one starting quarterback there. If this was mandatory minicamp, then things would be a little bit more interesting because, quite frankly, it's different. It's mandatory, but this is not. This is, if you want to come, you can come. Importantly, if you think you need to be here, you should be here, right? If you're a veteran and don't think you need the extra practice with the team, then you don't need to be here. So I don't think it's a major issue. I do know that the coaching staff will address it in probably the next 20-30 minutes from now as I'm recording this video. So when they do say it, comment down below the main reason he wasn't at practice. I guarantee you it's nothing, bad related, nothing negative related. Maybe, he's dealing with something or something's going on. They just had to miss practice. So let me know after practice what it was. But with that being said, I also wanted to break down a couple of the guys who have stood out over OTA so far. Now, one being Amarius Mims looks like an absolute beast. I mean, he is working so hard. There's still no sign of Trent Brown, but what is impressive is Amarius Mims and Orlando Brown are working together, getting better each and every single day. So that is something that I'm very, I love it. I love to see veterans help develop a rookie, right? Because at the end of the day, these rookies are here to eventually take your job. So you have a guy who's been in the league for a little bit here, has been really good, and they drafted offensive tackle. It really does help the development of some of those guys when you have a good mentor. And Orlando Brown is someone that could really help out. We've seen a little bit from Jermaine Burton working with the wide receivers today, and the quarterback, Jake Browning. Cedric Jackson, the former Auburn wide receiver from like 5 years ago, whatever it was, is actually making some noise as well when Joe Burrow was here. But other than that, I feel like this defensive line has really taken a step up, right with Sheldon Rankins and Trey Hendrickson, BJ Hale, Sam Hubbard, right? You bring in Chris Jenkins, you have Myles Murphy, the first-round pick, you have a Cam Sample, a Zach Carter. So I feel like this defensive line is very deep, and they've been showing that throughout the entirety of OTA so far. And again, just want to continue to see those guys, make some noise, right? Still no T. Higgins. A little bit scary, right? No T. Higgins, no Trent Brown, no Jamar Chase. Those guys aren't here. But then again, like we said before, they don't need to be here. T. Higgins is a little bit more scary because he's dealing with contract situation, which means, if he does not settle to an agreement with them, then who knows? Does he play this season? Probably, right? He most likely will play, but definitely want to get him under contract, sooner rather than later. Before we deep dive into some more guys that you guys need to watch out for, make sure you guys do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. We will be covering the Bengals throughout the entirety of the offseason. Now, you might be asking, what does that include? What does that entail? The rest of OTAs, which is the rest of this week, mandatory minicamp next week, more footage on that. And we're going to be covering preseason, training camp, regular season as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Once the season does start in terms of games and preseason, regular season, we're actually going to be breaking down film from the All-22 coaches film. And we're going to be making sure you guys are kept up to date with all the plays they're running, who's looking good each and every single week. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And with that being said, let's dive into a player I believe is about to turn the corner and break out this season. Now, Trey Hendrickson is a guy who actually requested a trade. Now, obviously, he's still here. Not looking to trade him right away, but a guy who I think, if he is traded by week 7, week 8, by the deadline, right, I think they're going to have the perfect guy to take his place. Myles Murphy looks massive. He's been working so hard with trainers and nutritionists, and he's really gotten into really good shape and looks like he could have that breakout type of season. I mean, he is just doing everything that you'd want, a former first-round pick to do. And, sometimes all you need is just a year to sit to really take that jump up. And I feel like Myles Murphy so far in OTAs and practice and whatnot has shown the ability, the athleticism, the size, the speed, the elusiveness to just make big time plays. And so far, I am very, very excited to see what he can continue to do going forward. And again, I think it's going to take a little bit of time. I don't think Trey Hendrickson is someone who's going to get traded, as soon as possible. But I do think that if he was to be traded, Murphy's the guy you guys need to continue to look out for. And also, keep in mind that it's still very early. There's no pads. There's no contact yet. As we get to mandatory minicamp, things will ramp up a little bit. But more importantly, once you get to training camp, that's when we'll really see a guy like Myles Murphy start to really stand out. They also have a second-round defensive tackle in Chris Jenkins, who they really do like as well. So definitely excited for that. I also brought up Amarius Mims a little while ago. Amarius Mims, dude, guys, he doesn't look like a rookie. He really doesn't. You got Frank Pollock working with Amarius Mims today. Just trying to get him, more ironed out, right? His abilities more ironed out. And I think that's something that he is, taking advantage of, especially with Trent Brown out. He's getting a bunch of the first team reps at offensive line or at the tackle position for the offensive line. And, he's locked in. He is locked in. He's asking the right questions. He's coming to practice every single day with the chip on his shoulder like, hey, I want to make sure that I can help this team win football games, not only next season, but for the entirety of my career, man. What a good pickup by him or by the Bengals, right? Getting a guy like this who has that mentality of just wanting to be coached, wanting to be better. You don't find that too often, man. A lot of guys have big egos, care about the money, not and about the fame, right? Not Amarius Mims, man. He don't care what the fame, what the money looks like. He just wants to be better every single day. So love that. Seeing more out of Eric All every single day. He is starting to build chemistry. Obviously, with no Joe Burrow there today, you get more work with Jake Browning and Logan Woodside, and even Rocky Lombardi getting some action. So let me know what you guys think about practice so far. Obviously, we're still ways away from starting to see, when the pads come on. That's when we're going to see who's really starting to stand out. But overall, good day of practice today. Continue to put in that work as there's no pads and whatnot. So hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family. Now we'll see you guys in the next Bengals update. Should be maybe tomorrow or Thursday, Friday. We'll see you soon. Peace.